Hey, welcome back. This is the second video in a series of videos on Diplomat usage. For the first video, we covered installation, how to set up your content environment, and as you can see, we kind of left off at our environment being created, and we're also entered into our environment, so we activated the environment. Today I'm going to be going over, in this video, how you can use Diplomat's track and interact function to work with Sleep and Diplomat generated files. The first half of this video will cover how you can use Sleep and the generated files with the Diplomat track and interact function, and the second half of this video will cover the same thing but with Diplomat. So let's get right into it. First, let's start with Sleep files. The first step you want to do is activate the conda environment. So in the previous video, we activated it this way: conda activate, and then the name of the environment in which you installed Diplomat. So once you're in this environment, what we want to do is type in Diplomat track underscore and underscore interact. So the track and interact function is used to pull up the GUI. Note that we could use the track function instead of this track and interact function, but the reason we choose not to is because the track function would not give us the interactive GUI to make corrections for fine-tuning our model. After you've typed in Diplomat track and interact, there are three key parameters that are required for this function. The first being -c, the second being -v, and the third being -n. So let me go through each of these. -c is different for Sleep and Deep Lab Cut. For Sleep, you would just reference the path to the folder which contains the model. So what you want to do is find and locate the path for that model where you saved it, and simply copy that path right into the value for that parameter. So mine is saved here, in this spot. And yeah, so the second parameter here is -v. So this is the path to the video that you would like to use and track for your workflow. So simply, again, put in the path to the video here, similar to what we did for the last step with the config. And the last parameter is the -n parameter. So the -n parameter is the number of individuals which would be in the video that you like to track. For mine, I have a triple mouse video, so I will be typing in 3. Now this is the complete function, and all you have to do at this point, once all of the config parameters are populated, is click enter. Once you click enter, there's going to be a couple pop-ups here. You might see something different here based off how your setup is, but you'll see that the front end was selected. It loads the front end, it checks the front end sleep, and now it's going to be choosing the correct front end. This is going to take a couple minutes, so just hang in there. Once this is complete, you'll see the GUI pop up. Again, just to validate that this was done correctly, you'll see a pop-up such as this come up, where it's running on the predictor frames. So what's going to happen next is this loading bar is going to complete. There's going to be a couple other pop-ups, and finally the last step is the GUI was going to pop up. So I'm just going to pause the video here, and I'll be back once my process is complete. Alright, so I'm back, and it looks like it went well. The process was complete, the loading bar completely finished, and now we see our GUI pop up. So this confirms that you were able to type in the correct parameters and open up the GUI. So that's about it for the track and interact function. I just want to mention that if you did not have this GUI pop up and there were some errors that popped up, the main thing I would check is the config. Ensure that you are referencing the sleep model folder. Ensure that the sleep files for your model are correctly placed in there. Another step is the video. Ensure that the path to the video is correct. There's no syntax errors, so double slashes or anything like that. The final thing is the number of individuals. Ensure that you typed in the correct number of individuals, or you might have a difference between the config that you inputted and what you inputted into the function. So the second half of this video now, we're going to be going into the Deep Lab Cut side. So the Deep Lab Cut side is honestly the same kind of similar type of flow. So first thing we're going to do is just close this, save our results, wait for it to close, And there you go. Now that it's done, we can get started with the Diplomat side. So the syntax for the command is actually the same. It would be diplomat track underscore and underscore interact. And the configs are the exact same as well. So you have -c, -v, and -n. So this is this exact same to the one that I did earlier. So I'm going to simply go back to my function that I used earlier and I populated. Now, the main thing that changes here is the config. So we're no longer going to be using the sleep model path, the path to the sleep model folder. Instead, what we're going to be doing is for DLC workflows, you would want to use the config.yaml file that is generated from training a deep lab cut model. So for me, I had to just kind of look for where I saved my deep lab cut trained model folder, and here it is. So you wouldn't want to reference the exact folder. So notice how for the sleep setup and how I set it up in the function here. For sleep, I reference the entire folder. As opposed to that, in dblabcut, I reference the config.yaml file, and that's going to be the config file that you need to specify for -c. Again, for -v, the video can remain the same, whichever video that you would like to track. Just ensure that your final parameter, -n, has the correct number of individuals to the config file that is your dblabcut config file. So again, if you have the parameters correctly populated, just click enter. It'll look through the front ends again. It will select the correct front end automatically, being dblabcut here, and it's going to run for a bit. And same validation steps. If you don't see the loading bar pop up, most likely you will run into an error of some sort. And again, troubleshooting for that is similar to what I specified for sleep. So I'll be back and we'll kind of see when this pops up again. Hey, so now we're back and we've seen that the process ran smoothly, the loading bar was complete, and the GUI popped up. So what you are seeing now is the interact interface. And this is where we can start fine-tuning our model, making corrections to the points, and retracing it to ensure that it is more accurate. In the next video, I will be covering the interact interface and all of the bells and whistles that you can use to actually fine-tune and make your model better for tracking. See you in the next video.